Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. It's the preseason before the start of the season. Nice little practice race for all these ladies and gentlemen out here getting ready to do the Daytona International Speedway. I am your host here tonight, Dylan McDonald, alongside with Mr. Wesley Outland, and the man behind the camera is going to be Dean Biggles. As Wes, it's been a long time away, and now we're already back to this new season. Get ready to start in 1 week time.
Yeah, it's great to be back again. Obviously, I got to work in the booth on Tuesday night with the showdown, the preseason showdown for the Xfinity Series, and there was only about 15 cars on hand. What an exciting race that was. And we were told that there was other things going on in the Aussie world. Because of that, there wasn't the number of entries that we have. But for these trucks, what a great field of trucks. And by the way, we got close to 30 on the grid. This is the final opportunity here in Daytona, whether Xfinity or trucks, to have a chance to see what we're going to see for the big race next Tuesday and Thursday right here at World Center of Racing Daytona. So it should be a good one.
Absolutely. Get ready to look up at the grid for tonight's debut race here at Daytona, the preseason before the start. Starting P number 1 is going to be Jason Holdsworth. Second is going to be Brian Blundell on his outside. Row number 2 will be Keith Hackney with David Douglas, both Nitro drivers in row number 2. P number 5 will be another Nitro driver of Riley Curtis in the number 93. And then you got Shane Bowen in P number 6. Starting P number 7 is going to be Brad Wright. 8th is going to be Troy Davidson in row number 4. Row number 5 is going to be Nigel Seidel in P number 9. And David Waller for project number 36, starting position number 10.
Row 6 now, Marty Mitchell will be in the number 651 to his outside. Adam Gray in the number 57 Black Rifle Coffee Company entry. I could use some of that this morning. Michael Skurlock with the mud chops there, along with, of course, Craig Frazier on the outside. Fu Manchu. Brad Newman, obviously in the number 1, ready to roll with Josh Mickelmore, Xfinity Series champion on the outside, row 8. Row number 9. Ethan Winter in the 39, and Lachlan Frank is out there in 18. Top 20, we'll find Scott Rankin in the 59, and Matt Raymond ready to go again in the 83, starts 20th.
In at 21st, we're going to have Tim Blundell, and I'm not sure. 23rd is going to be Ben Faulkner and Lewis Greathead in P number 24. 25th is going to be Ryan Barber and Andy Barber, father-son duo in row number 13. Row 14 is going to be the Tyler Williams in the number 99 and Darren Robb in P number 28. 29th is going to be Aaron Dorman and Zach Blundell rounding out your top 30.
That's the lineup. That's the lineup, guys. Everybody in the back there. Aaron Dorman, Marty Mitchell, some of these guys in the back, but that is the lineup of the trucks as these guys will get ready to go to green. This time by 100 laps, Dylan. We're ready to see what happens, buddy. Preseason showdown, trucks, Thursday night, Aussie mates and middies. It's go time.
And here's something new that we're bringing into this season. It's going to be a little bit of stage racing for the trucks here tonight. It's already the bottom lane. Getting out to a nice little jump, the 2 Nitro drivers, Jason Holdsworth and Keith Hackney, getting a little bit of a run going through turns number 1 and 2, but you'd never want to be out that far as everybody else is going to be able to get up to speed, catch back up to these top 2, and make it a side-by-side race as we get another beautiful shot going down the long backstretch here at Daytona for the first time, all the way up under speed. Everybody just trying to find their way around and get settled in. Pre-race jitters, preseason jitters, that is all out the window now, Wes, as they're finally making their way into the first time into turns number 3 and 4.
Laps for the opening stage. Here they come, working now off turn 4. Way out of line, Keith Hackney. He's got it ducked back in line. Let him in. Riley Petrie, Jason Holdsworth, He'll lead lap number 1 for Nitro. 1 lap in, 99 to go. Couple of Toyotas lead him over a Ford. Back up the bacon in turn 1.
Yeah, not sure if Keith Hackney got a little bit loose coming out of turns number 3 and 4, or if he wanted to drop to the back of the field. You're going to see that a lot here going down the backstretch. Maybe some drivers going to drop all the way towards the back there, Wes, and kind of play it out. See what's going to happen. See how this new format works with everybody in here. There are some new drivers in the field in that number 6 machine of Keith Hackney. He's a new guy out there on the racetrack, already trying to show his stuff here early in this race. But Wes, one thing that we've known to see all the way in and through the season, it's not about where you start the race, it's all about where you finish, as he's all over the back bumper of the number 8 of Jason Holdsworth.
Yeah, the guy's up around my neck of the woods. I'm in North Carolina. He's down south in Calhoun, Georgia. A guy that's primarily known for a lot of success in the dirt world. As we got one in trouble, the 86 of Blundell in the fence, Brian Blundell. Problems into the safer barrier, the 86 machine. Remember, his family member, brother, Demo Blundell, won the Xfinity preseason showdown in a wild finish on Tuesday night. Right now, Holdsworth holding off America's Keith Hackney, Riley Curtis. Here they come down to the line. But it's really cool, Dylan, to see some new drivers. Obviously, American driver Hackney ready to see what he'll do with the Aussie drivers in turn 1, right behind Holdsworth again.
Yeah, I've been watching Keith Hackney throughout the offseason here while we're getting ready to go into the season premiere. And he's been racking up a little bit of the wins on the official side of things, making his name out there, getting his stuff dialed in for this season. He gives a big bump to the back bumper of that number 8 machine. And look how much of a gap he's leaving. He's leaving just enough of a gap where he can kind of arrow push Holdsworth and keep him up there, keep him up to speed, but he's also getting enough air to that front bumper so he doesn't have to worry about any overheating issues on that number 6 machine.
Top 5, Holdsworth, Hackney, Curtis, Wright, and Newman. Now the Ford trucks now pulling away. Newman trying to catch up to these guys. There's Brad Wright, the Hamilton driver of the number 19 right now, single file. That's the way they are down that back straightaway. 5 degrees down the back straightaway, 2,300 foot long back stretch. They call it the Daytona Super Stretch. Just now, Newman being passed by more trucks of Faulkner and White. Winner as they go into turn 3. Wow.
Yeah, you can see there the top 4 breakaway. Then you got about, I don't know, maybe 20 or so car length lead over the next group of cars, as everybody's still trying to jockey for a little bit of position, get with their teammates, trying to do what they can do to, try to catch these top 4. But everybody's got to figure out who they can push, who can't be pushed, who's better at pushing them other than the other way around. So this is a great time, Wes, in my opinion, to figure out who's good at doing what. There's no points on the line. There's nothing really going because everybody knows the season does not officially start till you leave Daytona. Once you leave Daytona, the season has officially begun.
Well, and I mean, this is a great opportunity to see what you've got for next Thursday. We always say the wild card is Daytona, right? I mean, you put it on your bucket list. Do you want to win Daytona? Yes, if you can. But we all know once you get out of Daytona, then the race for the championship really begins, obviously. Holdsworth leading the way for Nitro, came so close to winning Tuesday night in the Australian NASCAR E-Series Xfinity program. Right now, leading the way, got left traffic up ahead as he walks back straight away.
Yeah, you can see there probably a little bit of communication to this lap truck getting ready to come up on the back bumper of him. He's letting him know, hey, you want to go outside for me, or where's the leader's going to be able to run coming up to this lap truck? He's going to stay down on the inside. It looks like maybe Dave Douglas right in front of him in the number 10 machine. He's going to get right up on that back bumper and just use him as an extra pushing guy. So now you got 5-car breakaway in that top 5. It looks like Brad Wright is starting to fall off just a little bit off that back bumper, but still. Jason Holdsworth all over that back bumper already.
Top 5 as he stands. Holdsworth right there on the back end of Dave Douglas. What a problem for another Nitro entry. That's a teammate to Holdsworth, and Jason Holdsworth is not really making a valiant effort to try to bypass the Double D's casting couch. Dave Douglas Nitro number 10 from Central Queensland right now, right there on the back of his tailgate. And it's, of course, Hackney and Curtis right there. Holdsworth not jumping out of line. Douglas right in front. All that's going on is their nose to tail heading back to turn 1.
Yeah, looking at it right now, the top 3 actually going to be all Nitro drivers. And then the other one that is getting ready to be possibly a lap down is going to be Dave Douglas, but maybe a little bit of teammate inspiration here. Keep him on the lead lap. You don't want to get out of line. The more they get out of line and get discombobulated, that's going to let the second group catch back up to those leaders, and that's not what they want to have happen. They want to see how far they can really stretch this lead over as Ethan Winter going down to the inside. He doesn't want to be on that outside anymore. He says, you know what, I got to the front of this second group. I want to lead it, but I got to go with Brad Newman. Brad Newman is the third car in line in that second group. He's saving more fuel than what Ethan Winter's saving and whatever anybody else is on that outside saving, because he can let off a little bit. He doesn't have to be full throttle the entire time. Are they going to be able to make it the full 20 lap distance for stage 1 on fuel? I would assume so, but you definitely want to make sure that you can have everything that you need and stay in that little bit of a growth with the draft, and make sure that you can save fuel when you need to.
Scott Rankin right there behind Williams' truck is on the outside lane. There they work their way climbing into the top 10. All this happening with Ryan Barber, Shane Bowen, Adam Gray, Tyler Williams, Cooper Dow, all right there in this big gaggle of traffic working now. Behind the winner from 5th on back as they work back into turn 1. 10 to go. 10 in, stage 1 here for preseason showdown for the Australian NASCAR Truck.
Yeah, looking at it now, when we were getting that good shot of Scott Rankin all over the back bumper of Tyler Williams, he had a little bit of damage on that right rear. Not sure what happened to Tyler Williams. Maybe he got into Ryan Blundell as he was getting up in that safety barrier. But the man from Sydney, making sure he stays up there in the front. And then you got Keith Hackney, followed by Riley Curtis, and then you got Brad Wright. That's going to be your top 4. You got Ethan Winter in P number 5, but such a big gap, Wes. I mean, you got the top 4 going to be within a second of each other. Then you got a 5-second gap back to P number 5.
Yeah, they really are. It's right now, single file. Continuing, Jason Holdsworth in the lead. Georgia's Keith Hackney right there. The Tunnel Vision Nitro entry. Miss Piggy in a bikini. Rocking it at 4 o'clock in the morning, man. There you go.
Yeah,
He made it a rated R podcast now.
I was actually on Discord with him as he was making that scheme, and it was definitely a treat to watch Keith Hackney make those schemes, but you know, everything that he does with tunnel vision and just the schemes that he makes are just absolutely amazing. Is riding on board with Brad Wright, you get a nice little view of what Brad's going to be able to see. He's able to catch all the way up to the back bumper of Riley Curtis, but it's like down the straightaways, he wants to give a little bit more of a gap and just kind of execute these runs, see what his truck can do to get all the way up to that back bumper. But the thing is, like, he's got nobody going behind him, so I think maybe a P4 here in stage number 1 might do Brad right in to start to the preseason.
Movers, there they are. Tyler Williams up 19 spots in the top 10 and 8th. Ben Faulkner up 17 and 6th. Single file, Holdsworth still showing love to Double D Dave Douglas. And all the while, 7 laps to go here in stage 1. As all the while, remember, stage points normally during the regular season up for grabs. They're following the stage format, but no stage points tonight. But right now, Holdsworth playing nice for his teammate, but there's 2 or 3, 4 packs of traffic of the 30 trucks on course right now.
And, another thing that we could bring up here, Wes, is, everybody's playing nice as of right now. We should be able to see what we're going to see in about 60 laps time when there's 20 laps to go. I don't think we're going to see this 5-truck breakaway that we're seeing right now. I think everybody's going to be bunched up together. You're going to see a lot more passing being done. You're going to be seeing a little bit more aggressive moves than what you're seeing here earlier in the race. They know it's a long race. It's 100 laps. 20 lap intervals for stage 1, stage 2. Then you got a 60-lap race to the finish to get all the way to the end of it. So you're going to see drivers going from the top to the bottom to the top, even making it 3, even possibly 4 wide here at Daytona, which is possible, but you really, really have to know what you're doing. There's a big wreck. Lachlan Frank. Oh, man. The big one.
Lachlan Frank's involved. The 57 machine of Adam Gray also caught up in it. Problems on the Daytona super stretch. And the yellow flag out on lap number 15. Gaggle of traffic stacked up here, Dylan, and here it is, working now again out of turn number 2. We were wondering if it was going to happen, and there it is. It looked like Newman got loose, and when he did, Lachlan Frank, one of the Project 36 trucks, getting turned on their lid. Oh, we got one upside down as well in the bottom of the apron of the racetrack. Yes, sir.
It was one of the barbers, it looked like, I believe. Oh, Newman gets pushed up the track. Oh.
Keep an eye now. Go to the inside of the apron and you'll see it. Newman loose. There's somebody got tagged in the back right there.
Right here.
That truck right here. Yep.
By Lawler, yeah. Oh.
Believe it's Lawler. 136, David Lawler. If you want to find him right now, he's on the track in 10th position. He was able to continue. But watch what happened to Lawler.
I think that's just a misjudgment there by Brad Newman trying to get back down in line. Just misjudged it just a little bit of front end damage. Oh.
Lawler and the 194.
Oh, the barber.
Yeah, his numbers not matching his timing and scoring. I want to say it might be Andy Barber, guys, in the number 5 in 25th if you want to show him one more time. He's in truck 5. So it's the other one. It's Ryan Barber.
Ryan Barber.
Yeah, let's find Ryan Barber. And again, his number is not matching his truck with timing and scoring. Well, that's when the season starts. Here it is, Ryan Barber.
Right there, he thought he had the wreck missed. Ugh.
Yeah, I can tell you as we see the numbers not matching the truck number and the scoring ticker, that is something that the Australian NASCAR E-Series, they're letting them get away with it for now because it's preseason, Dylan. But they point blank said next week and for the season, your number better match what's on the scoring ticker. If not, you will suffer a penalty or a disqualification. I don't blame them one bit. It aggravates me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially whenever you're looking at the truck, you're like, okay, I know exactly what number it is. And then, the number doesn't match. But, like you said, Wes, it's preseason. They're maybe one of the barbers, Ryan, is waiting to showcase his new livery coming for next week. Who knows? Only Ryan and Andy know. But still. I mean, from now, it's been great racing. 17 laps in. First caution. So let's see what we can do here with essentially a green-white checkered coming to the end of stage number 1.
Whoa. under the yellow flag here as look at this. Jason Holdsworth, by the way, teammate indeed. Remember this, Dave Douglas. He could have punted him out of the way. He could have passed him, put him a lap down. Dylan, he did not do that. And, Dave Douglas is going to stay on the lead lap. And, of course, he will go to the tail end of the field, but he's not a lap down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what they were doing to let him save his race. Granted, he would have been able to get the lucky dog at the end of the stage, get back on the lead lap. But this is where it's going to get a little bit more tricky. You got two Nitro drivers, Keith Hackney, Jason Holdsworth on that front row. Then you got Newman up to P number 3. Fourth is going to be Ethan Winter, and fifth is going to be Riley Curtis. So a little bit of a shakeup in that top 5. Is Jason going to try to get a little bit of a jump on Keith Hackney and let Hackney get down behind the number 8 of Jason Holdsworth? Or is it going to just be an all-out brawl? Hey, let's control both lanes. How about that? You control the outside. I'm going to control the inside, and let's see if we just can't make like a rolling roadblock of Nitro Racing trucks up here. Which, by the way, I want to give a big shout-out to Nitro Racing for coming on board for another season and sponsoring this year's Truck Series here on Highline Broadcasting. As looking at the biggest mover still, it's going to be Aaron Dorman, the biggest mover here, up 20 positions in 9th place.
Top 10 at the moment, Jason Holdsworth. Keith Hackney second. Brad Newman, by the way, third. Ethan Winter, top 5, along with Scott Rankin. By the way, those drivers in 3rd, 4th, and 5th up 12, 13, and 14 positions. Riley Curtis, Ben Faulkner, Brad Wright, Troy Davidson, Aaron Dorman in the top 10. Lights off on the pace car. We will come back to green. Total laps remaining, 82 to go. There will be a 2-lap shootout here in stage 1. Back underway.
Oh, and Keith Hackney not getting a good restart on that outside. Dropped back way too much. He's going to be able to get down to the inside. Same with Brad Newman. So now you got the top 4 in a single file. But that's going to allow the number 39 of Ethan Winter to move up to P number 2. And Keith Hackney, that's going to be Brad Newman all over the back bumper of Keith Hackney, giving Miss Piggy a push on the rear as he's going to try to get his way all the way up there. And Brad Newman already looking to the outside to see who's going to follow him to that outside lane. Nobody wanted to bite the bullet, but it's all Jason Holdsworth looking at the clean track in front of him.
Jason Holdsworth, what a solid effort right now. Up in front in the early going, obviously. He's led from the green. Holdsworth staying in front. Nobody's been able to contend with him. Ethan Winter now up 15 spots to second. By the way, Brad Newman, last year's champion. Keep an eye on this guy. He's in the top 5. As there they are now, right there with one another as they work that back straightaway.
Looks like Hackney is going to move out to that outside. Newman is going to follow suit. There's a little bit of a gap there now between Holdsworth and Ethan Winter, but it's going to be Hackney going from 3rd to 1st. Not going to be able to be clear of Jason Holdsworth as it sits right now. But Keith Hackney's got the preferred lane. The outside lane is going to be the way that you want to go, as he's going to get clear of Holdsworth. He's going to move himself up to front. New race leader, the 6th, Miss Piggy, Keith Hackney.
And that's your stage 1 winner, Keith Hackney. And there's the caution, a little late on the yellow, but they will finally throw the caution because that is stage number 1. Calhoun, Georgia's driver. Tunnel Vision Nitro, Keith Hackney. You know, I'm wondering, Dylan, I'm surprised he pulled out of line because he's teammates with Jason Holdsworth. But he found that move on the outside whenever it come down to the last lap. Down the Daytona super stretch, and he clears by Holdsworth. Keith Hackney preseason showdown stage 1 winner here in Daytona.
Yeah, honestly, Wes, that big old gap ended up happening in between Ethan Winter and Jason Holdsworth. I thought for sure Keith was just going to get right, follow back right in line with Jason Holdsworth, but he saw his opportunity to get the preseason stage win under his belt. He said, you know what? I'm going to try and do it. He made it work, and hats off to him. It's such an excellent move done by the number 6 machine. But now we get to stack them, re-rack them, and send these boys off to green one more time. Once we get caught up to the pace car, everybody going to go into pit lane. Maybe get a set of right side tires. Maybe not. But I know for sure they're going to get some fuel in those race trucks.
Well, we know in just a moment, we did see everybody come down pit road at lap number 16. I'm wondering if they're going to stay out this time, honestly, Dylan. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any cause concern to go down to pit lane to get tires. Maybe some of the back runners will. To chassis adjustments right now, Marty Mitchell in 23rd has pitted twice. Everyone else has been on the pit lane once. And we'll see what time they will exit, if they're going to come to the pits or not. But I'm preferring the latter. I just don't see it happening. There's really no need to. Now they might surprise me. We're about to find out the verdict. Here comes the field working now off of turn 4. Yeah, they're not coming in. And I don't blame them. Some other guys are. Ethan Winter, Scott Rankin, Ben Faulkner, Timo Blundell, Tyler Williams, they're going to come to the pit lane. But the front guys, they're not going to do it. And probably these guys right here, honestly, Dylan, they're just going to top off the tank, man. It's not really tires important. They're just going to add fuel to the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to load down that truck as much as you possibly can with that fuel. I would assume maybe if you didn't take tires in the first stage or the second stage to start stage 3, you take tires at the beginning of it, just to stay planted to the ground as good as you possibly can. I know with the newer updated truck model, it does get a little bit more looser on older tires, especially at the plate tracks. It is now very aero dependent, so getting the wrong push can get you a little bit sideways coming off the corner. So look for maybe tires at the beginning of the stage, or maybe even halfway through the stage in stage number 3, whenever they got to make that final pit stop. Look for maybe a 2-tire call for a lot of those drivers.
Now remember, they're going to go into stage 2 right now, even though they're under the yellow flag. This will be another 20 laps. If you want to look at the race analysis, there it is. 2 20-lap stages. That'll complete lap 40. That'll be 100 miles. And then they have, of course, 60 laps. Another 150 miles to determine the finish of the race. Tonight's race, 250 miles, 100 laps. And remember, on Highline next Tuesday and Thursday night, the point seasons begin here in Daytona. And, I figured it would be less distance, honestly, Dylan, but they said, no, we're going to go what the distance is for a real race. And that's what they'll run next week. So what a great tune-up.
Yeah, absolutely. Making the races a little bit longer. That's going to make these drivers get a little bit more patient with how long these races are going to be. They got to really delegate where they want to be the most aggressive. We already know one driver that's going to be out there being super aggressive. That's going to be the number 1, looking at the 2026 season 1 schedule. That man right there, the number 1 of Brad Newman, he's going to be the one to watch as we go to Echo Park in 2 weeks' time. That is Atlanta Motor Speedway for all those drivers out there and people watching
Speedway
that don't know what it is.
And that's the Super Speedway. I mean, it's just like Daytona, only a mile different. The way the track is made now, the track's reconfigured. It is made for Super Speedway, 2-truck tandem, crazy pack racing. It's going to be just like Daytona.
And then right after that, you got your first road course of the season. That's going to be Long Beach, March 5th, Auto Club. is going to be right after, and then Las Vegas, Darlington, Talladega, Rockingham, Kansas, Toda, and Pocono is your regular season, and then later in the season you got your 6 race playoffs to find out who's going to be the 2026 season 1 champion here on the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. And if you had to put up a poll right now and get it done before the start of the actual season, Wes, who would you say would be the reigning champion coming into this season?
I mean, Brad Newman won the championship,
Yeah.
so reigning would be him. If
Okay.
there's anybody
it
that I would say, if it's anybody that I would say that could be the guy that could possibly be someone to watch, man, I mean, I would say don't count Brad Newman, but I think another guy is going to be, probably Josh Micklemore. He's already an Xfinity champion. He's in the top 10 right now in the trucks. He could be the guy that tried to hoist the title. Got a long way to go. And remember, as they come back to green, Dylan, there will be broken down to the season again. That's what I was told. I was told that there was going to be the, season 1. Then they take off. They come back in July for the second season. And remember, that goes all the way until the end of November. And then there is a 10-race series Tuesday through Friday with the Australian NASCAR Championship. And that is the best of the truck in Xfinity. They're fighting for the title in that 10-race series in 5 weeks.
Oh, that's going to be something fun to watch. But for me, if I had to pick, I'm going to go with a strong rookie, Keith Hackney. I feel like he could be one of those drivers that could put like a thorn in somebody's side that doesn't want to go away, as we are 3 wide towards the back. They're going to settle it back out down to 2 wide, but everybody's getting a little bit more antsy. You're seeing all these jumps from the top down to the bottom, making those moves, seeing what they can do in front of these drivers is Holdsworth, and it looks like Riley Curtis dominating that outside lane. But look who we haven't talked about other than just a few minutes ago, Josh Micklemore, making his way up there to the top 5.
Yeah, there's that guy I told you about right now, up the 3rd. Look at these guys working down the back straightaway as sun begins to set. Here at Daytona, with this race will finish under the light, and we still got 15 laps to go. Over 35 miles remaining in stage number 2.
Now you can see it there, the outside West getting lined up better than the inside Brad Newman. A big gap between him and Keith Hackney. And then you still got 3 wide towards the middle of the pack there. It looks like everybody's still trying to find their rhythm, get back into that sync of, okay, this is what the truck's supposed to feel like. This is how we race. Aaron Dorman down on the inside of Tyler Williams. They're going to be back down to 2 wide. They're trying to get that middle lane rolling. Not a lot of traffic in that middle lane, so it's going to take a good heap of drivers to get that middle lane rolling and see if they just can't push up towards the front.
Holdsworth now up on the outside lane. Look at Tyler Williams from Sunbury, Victoria, right up the middle. As one of the planes are coming in for landing on the airport on the back straightaway. 3 wide, 3 by 3 by 3. Winner a little loose there in the 39. All the while pushing on the bottom and the top. New leader, Hackney. He's carrying Newman with him. And Holdsworth will fall back to 3rd as they work into turn 3. He's stuck on the outside lane, pushing, fighting to go back to the lead, and he can't do it.
Yeah, Micklemore blocking that middle lane to stop getting that run, kind of ruin the momentum on that high side. That's going to allow Keith Hackney to retake the race lead. Aaron Dorman up here to P number 3 in that purple and black number, I believe it is 253, as he's right behind the 253, right behind the number 1 of Brad Newman. He pushed and chugged his way all the way up to P number 2, right behind Keith Hackney. They're going to see if they can start to pull away from that high side, get that little 5-car breakaway like they had in the first stage, and see if they just can't keep it green as Jason Holdsworth leading the charge on that outside. They're starting to make it 3 wide yet again. Here we go, up the middle. Jason Holdsworth noticed it, recognized it, gave the 28 a little bit of room, and now he's in the sucker hole. Look at him, a little bit of side draft there, but still going to be able to get around the number 8 of Jason Holdsworth.
Open that door to Faulkner. Up the middle, pushing now with Williams. Inside, outside, somehow Hackney holding on to the top spot. Holdsworth is way, way up on the high side. He's being bullied for that spot outside the top 5. He's now back to 8th, and all the while, everyone's full steam ahead. Georgia boy, Keith Hackney to the lead. Brad Newman, last year's champion, in tow. Eric Norman, a 26th spot to 3rd as they work in 3.
Yeah, and I think this is what the racers needed, was to get that nitro trio broken up just a little bit. You see in stage number 1 there, it was Dave Douglas, it was Jason Holdsworth, Keith Hackney, Riley Curtis, all tucked in together. Stage 2 is a little bit different. Not all the nitro drivers going to be bunched up, as we got a big wreck in turns number 1 and 2.
And Holdsworth is in it. Holdsworth, Riley Curtis, Darren Robb, Scott Rankin, David Lawler again. A massive crash in turn. Oh boy. Turn number 1 and 2. Watch this again. Somebody bumped Jason the wrong way. Remember, he got stuck up on the outside lane. And finally, the 93 of Riley Curtis, one of his teammates for that matter. That's a nitro teammate. And that's what happened. Scott Rankin spinning, bicycling in reverse up the banking. Other trucks in trouble. And there is the scatter from the top to the bottom. Caution out for the second time here. Actually, 3rd caution, because the yellow came out at the end of stage 1 there, Dylan.
Yeah, you can see it here. Jason Holdsworth, I believe, was looking down to the inside and just got a little bit of a bigger of a run, and just a block gone bad. You see there, Jason Holdsworth making his way down to the middle. He got kind of to the inside, got him a little bit loose. He checks up. Everything's fine here, and then just the slightest little movement back up to the outside, going to collect Josh Micklemore, Riley Curtis, and others in tow. And there you see it. Everybody just trying to figure out a way around, as everybody doing a little bit of a Tokyo drift around the apron, trying to dodge and be a bald eagle around Daytona International Speedway.
It's a panic mode. Trying to find a way to scatter and miss all this trouble. And look at the damage on Jason Holdsworth on the right front. Oh, and by the way, remember, there's no fast repairs in this series either, Dylan. You know, even though it's exhibition, man, you tear your truck up, you're going to have to go on the what we call the Wrench Wranglers damaged vehicle policy clock, and it's going to have to take time to get fixed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There we go. Scott Rankin down to the banking, back up the banking into the outside wall, rear end first. And just nowhere to go for a lot of those drivers. And this is one of the biggest things, especially with super speedway racing. You don't want to be all the way up at the outside wall, because even though they're super banked, they're all going to go up to the wall first and then go down the racetrack. So every time I run in a super speedway race, I am glued to that yellow line, because I need to get down to that underneath that yellow line if I need to right away.
The 26, yeah. We're talking about the 26 truck of Zach Blundell. Remember, Timo Blundell won the race on Tuesday. Zach Blundell here tonight, not Timo Blundell. Look at a nice run for Zach. Hit the drainage over there, and damn, into the wall he did. I mean, he missed the accident, if you will, of the BSR 26, if you will, Dylan. But he hit the drainage ditch, and when he did, it shot him up into the safer barrier.
Oh man, you hate to see it. I mean, he got around the wreck as cleanly as possible. Did a little bit of a Tokyo drift, and then put it in the grass. And like you said, Wes, hit that drainage ditch. And the minute that truck set down, it wasn't level. It wasn't even with all four tires hitting the ground first, and just shot him right up the racetrack like a pinball right into the outside wall. So not what a lot of these drivers wanted to see. But thankfully, it is only an exhibition race. It's not for points. The only thing that is on the table is to say, like, hey, I won the preseason race. I have what it takes to win in the Australian NASCAR Truck Series.
By the way, don't forget the Australian NASCAR E-Series fires up next Tuesday night. Trucks at Daytona, of course, tonight with the preseason showdown. Next Tuesday and Thursday, February 17th and 19th, it'll be for real. The point season begins, the push for the championship. New drivers, as we mentioned, like Georgia's Keith Hackney. Not just the Australian regular, and obviously Brad Newman, the defending champion. And remember, Dylan, he won the championship in the trucks and Xfinity. So he's got to defend the crown in both series.
Well, hopefully he is able to do so. And then you had Matt Danson take away his triple crown there at the end of the season for I believe it was the BMG X Series. I believe that was it, if I'm not mistaken. But still.
Yeah, not any, yeah. We don't have them as a sponsor anymore. But yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, but to see Brad Newman do what he is doing here tonight in any series, and to get that many trophies in one season is absolutely amazing. And this season, I don't expect it to be any different, as it's going to be like every year. It's going to be a long season. You definitely got to keep your tempers to where they are minimum, and you got to keep your truck out there on the racetrack as much and as long as possible, and try to rack up a couple wins along the way.
Patience indeed. Hello to Trent Lavelle, watching from the Bathurst 12-hour campsites. There you go. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Lavelle, I'm excited to announce, talking with Will, CT Electrical, Dean and Dylan, has jumped on board as a sponsor with the Australian NASCAR E-Series. Details on that coming out very soon, but we're excited to welcome CT Electrical as a sponsor. Back to green, 6 to go, Dylan, in stage 2, preseason showdown, truck at the World Center of Virtual Racing.
Oh, Keith Hackney got a really good jump on that inside lane, but the top three going to be spread out about half a truck length of each other. They have to get themselves tucked in line. As we look there, I don't know how he made that work, but Ben Faulkner going from the top down to the bottom, getting himself in line. He's going to jump back outside with Ethan Winter. Ethan Winter's got a full head of steam. He's going to get around the number 19 of Brad Wright. He's going to move himself up there in P number 4, as Brad Wright's going to drop down to 6th. So Brad Wright was running currently P number 4. He's going to drop down to P number 6. And now that outside lane is going to have a little bit of momentum. Aaron Dorman was not able to get on the back bumper of Brad Newman, so it's not going to be a 3-car pull away. It's going to be a 2-car pull away, as Brad Newman all over the back bumper. Can't even see the rear logo on that back bumper of the number 6 of Keith Hackney, as he is leading some more laps out here at Daytona.
Working back straight away. Hackney now, 2-truck tandem. Defending champion Newman right there behind him. And here comes Aaron Dorman. What a solid run for him right now. Aaron Dorman from Toongabbie. right here, trying to run them down. There is a look at the new chart to show you where they are, where they were. High positions is good. Down below, climbing. And he's on the rise as it stacks up Winner and Faulkner and other trucks behind him as here comes down Newman under attack by Winner. And remember, Winner and Newman, they don't like each other down Dillon.
Ethan Winter able to get that outside run on the number 1 of Brad Newman. Brad Newman tried blocking that outside run. He went down to the inside. Newman blocked that. He got back to the outside. New race leader is going to be the number 39 with Ben Faulkner right behind him. Ethan Winter and Ben Faulkner both going to drop down the inside. A close call by the number 28, but it's going to be new race leader, the 39, Ethan Winter, first lap led here at Daytona in the preseason.
They were nice. They raced each other fair, and Winner now to the front spot. 3 to go as we're approaching 100 miles complete here in stage 1 and 2 here in Daytona, ready to push for that final third stage. Fog settling in as night fall settles in. Look at Newman up from the bottom to the top. Look at now the 112 of Lewis Greathead pulling out of line on Hackney. Look at Williams throwing it. Oh my God, he went right between Winner. How in the world did he pull it off?
Oh, that could have been disastrous, but look at the precision of Tyler Williams getting in that truck from the outside down to the inside. Not a lot of room for error. That side drafting coming into full effect here. 2 laps to go for the final stage here in stage number 2. Keith Hackney on the outside. Lewis Greathead leading the inside with Tyler Williams all over his back bumper. Ethan Winter getting a little bit of a gap between second and third place down on that inside lane. And then you got the Bad Brad up there right behind Keith Hackney, respectively, where he's been all night long, all over that number 6 machine.
Greathead under attack. Here comes Hackney. Look at them stacking up 3 wide. Here they come, working now off turn 4. Coming to the line. Hackney from top to bottom blocks Williams. Newman will follow. White flag, 1 to go, stage 1. Hackney in front. Here comes the Georgia boy from dirt to pavement up behind Mason 1.
You seen what he did there. He got clear of everybody, went down, throwing the block on the number 99 of Tyler Williams, and then went right back up to pick up Brad Newman. They may not be teammates, but he is his best shot to have him behind him. He wants him right there on his back bumper. What does Brad do? Is Brad going to be content pushing the number 6 to a stage 2 victory? But here comes Lewis Greathead, who on that outside, nobody to help. He's going to tuck back in line, going to see what they can do off of turn number 3 and 4. 1 lap to go. Coming up to the stage 2 finish is going to be Keith Hackney, sweeping both stages here tonight. And man, oh man, are we going to be in for a treat for the final 60 laps here, Wes.
My goodness, what a moment right there. And that wild stage number 2, especially those last 5 miles, crazy there at the end. I got to say, number 99, Tyler Williams, he must be like a cat. He's got 99 lives, not 9. He just used one of them. What a daring move. Went from the middle lane, actually to the top, to the middle, and went to the bottom and pulled right in front of Brad Newman. You know, that's normally, or Winner, that's normally something that if you do it to one of those guys, Dylan, they're going to punch you into the infield. That didn't happen to Williams. What a move. Stage 2 done.
Absolutely. An incredible move. And I think right now, Wes, with it being this early in the preseason race, they were like, you know what? This time I'm going to lift. Next time, I'm not going to play too nice. So kind of know your P's and Q's when you're coming up on a veteran like that, as we got Nigel Sedell going back into pit lane of the John Deere number 69 Nitro Racing, as he's going to, I believe, just get right side tires and some fuel in the number 69 Chevy from Nitro Racing. He's got his cow on the side. Oh, I just noticed that. He's got his cow on the side.
Yeah, Yeah, a nitro, and there's the man right there in that again 69 machine, Nigel Siddell Racing. Got to try to run some races this year, is what he said his plan was. Obviously, hasn't been able to run that much in the past because of obviously having to handle the broadcast stuff. But when you got a great group of people like myself and Dylan, and that's going to free him up. Obviously, Dylan, Dean Biggles Hompton, he did some color on Tuesday as well. As we overlook the Virtual World Center of Racing Daytona, that's the buzzing, hopping place. Remember last night, Kyle Busch in his 21st start for the 68th run into the 500 got his first ever pole. He grabbed a pole in the summer of the Coke Zero 400 at Daytona, but never the Daytona 500. And Richard Childress Racing number 8 did it last night in qualifying. He'll be the man on the front row along with Mitchell, Indiana's Chase Briscoe. You're an Indiana boy there, Dylan, so I got a feeling you got to be rooting this guy on, right? As we see pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mitchell, Indiana's not that far from where I am up here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So watching Chase Briscoe get up there, and then obviously Jeff Gordon as well, another former Indiana boy, Jeremy Mayfield, Tony Stewart, all of them. They're nice little Indiana state coming on out of here. So definitely going to be rooting on Chase Briscoe to see if he just can't snag himself a Daytona 500 win.
With that said, pit stops come and go. And Marty Mitchell will now be the new leader. Lewis Greathead up 22 spots to second. Ben Faulkner up 20 spots to third. Ethan Winter is now fourth. Tyler Williams, 22 spots into the top 5. Dave Douglas, Craig Frazier, Ryan Barber, Troy Davidson, and Josh Micklemore, your top 10. There it is right now. Marty Mitchell. Marty Mitchell going to the back. Wow. What the hell are these guys doing? Practicing the road course? The Daytona chicane, the bus stop at Daytona, they're driving through it.
Always got to have a little bit of fun during the pace laps here. That's something that I would definitely do.
Like, hey, man, let's try this out.
As we look on board.
Oh, no, you can pull that off.
That would. So, for the people out there wondering and tuning in, our producers saying, "Oh, we should do stage 1 oval, stage 2 road, and then stage 3 oval." That would make it very interesting.
By the way, let's drive in reverse. Let's go ahead and make a big, full-blown craziness out of it.
Or we could do the flagpole race. There we go. Yeah. Put a flagpole out there in the middle of the chicane or something. Get them to do like a 360 donut and keep on going.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. So when Marshawn Lynch said, remember? Yeah, there you go.
Car felt great. Can't wait to get
5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, want to say thanks to everybody tuning in, whether it's on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, YouTube, whatever the case may be.
Now remember, Dylan, we're live on Highline, but it's High Side on Facebook. It's they gotta wait 60 days. No. It's supposed to be Highline, but somebody messed up on the name, and they gotta wait 60 days to get their name fixed.
Oh no, never a good time. But I want to say thanks to everybody out there that's tuning in, enjoying this race with us. And from myself and Wesley, hopefully everybody had a fantastic new year. It's February. Football's done and over with. It's racing season, baby. We're here. Engines are roaring. I can smell the race fuel from a mile away. Can't wait to see the pace car. Gonna go down into pit lane for one more time in stage number 3. It is going to be Lewis Greathead and Ben Faulkner going to lead these drivers to the green flag into the restart zone. Green flag is out. Ethan Winter all over the back bumper. He's going to get a nice good run down to that inside. Ben Faulkner almost got it on the side of Ethan Winter, had to back out of that one. Doesn't want to cause an accident right off the rip. Dave Douglas been fairly quiet. He's back up there to the top 5.
But we're back underway. Under 150 miles left. This is stage number 3. Halfway will happen in this stage in about 6 laps. And Winner is driving from the middle, from the top to the middle to the bottom, open the door. Here comes Faulkner. There goes Ben Faulkner. He'll go to the lead. Williams is up high in the 99 with a push with Barber. And Winner stuck on the inside as the truck slams the wall. Hang on there.
Yeah, there was something that we didn't really get to see a lot in stage number 1 and 2 there, Wes. Instead of Ethan Winter falling behind, staying behind Lewis Greathead, he decided to take that run to the outside, get the race lead that quick, but just in that littlest bit of time of them swapping and jockeying for position, Ethan Winter went from first all the way back down to 5th position. So that's just how much difference a little bit of a move can make. You can go from first to 10th within a blink of an eye, but it looks like Micklemore has made his way back up there to P number 4, and it's all Tyler Williams leading the charge down on the inside.
Look at this awesome camera angle from the Sunbury Victoria driver and Tyler Williams. And look at them, 3 wide behind them. Hang on. Faulkner, Winner, Barber, Greathead, Micklemore. Take your pick. What awesome camera angle. Great action there.
You might as well just throw a blanket over the entire field, Wes. Shake them all up and see who comes out first. I mean, we're going to, looks like we're going to have another new leader coming off of turns number 3 and 4. Looks like Tyler Williams is going to go up the racetrack, going to try to throw a little bit of a block onto the number 39 machine, but not going to be able to be there. Here comes Bad Brad rolling that outside, going to get a little bit of a side draft. Ethan Winter gets clear of the number 99. He's going to be new leader of these last race lap, but here comes Ryan Barber. Ryan Barber going to use that outside lane, try to get himself one lap led here at Daytona.
Get this. Hang on, Ben Faulkner. And there goes Williams and Faulkner. Williams around, bottom of the apron, the 99. That is what should have happened when he turned in front of Winner, and it didn't. Down to the apron, below the double yellow line, out of way, feeling no caution leaders. Full steam ahead out of 4 with Barber in front.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier in this broadcast, Wes. A lot of these drivers are going to give a little bit of give and take, but we're on the final stage. There's only 52 laps to go here in tonight's bout. We're almost halfway. One more lap, and then we got halfway to the end of this race, and this is where everybody's going to start not playing so nice. You're going to see those holes close up fairly quickly. They're not going to be so more lenient to let you in. You're going to have to start to battle yourself into that position as the top side pulling away, and don't look now, but the Georgia boy, the lonesome Georgia boy, back up there as Brad Newman gets a little bit loose.
Newman is not making friends quickly. Down to the inside, pulled up in front of Frank. Hackney watching all this going on the outside lane. And well, that goes on. Barber. Keep an eye on all of these guys.
There's just so much action all over Wes, I don't know where to look, buddy. It just you got Newman
There is
blocking
another half of
every
the
single
race
thing.
left. There is another half of the racing left.
Then we got another new race leader. It looks like Lachlan Frank making his way all the way up to P number 1. He's going to go all the way down in front of the number 1 of Brad Newman, as Lachlan Frank might be able to hold on to lead this lap, or Josh Micklemore going to be able to challenge on that outside. You got Ethan with Micklemore and Keith Hackney, and then Dave Douglas all on that outside lane. So you got 3 Nitro trucks on that outside lane, and then you got the number 53, I believe, of Lachlan Frank, Brad Newman, the 05 of Brian Barber down on that inside. I almost said 194, but remember, it's 05. As now Ethan Winter going to try to take over the race lead, as this is the action-packed Daytona that we have seen time and time again. Ultimately, a different abundance of leaders.
Ethan Winter now showing his strength in front. Here comes the Nitro number 6. There's acting. And he's got friends. Look at 3, 4 Nitro trucks climbing up there. Look at this. Team Nitro ganging up on Winter. That is Hackney now. Outside lane pushed with Dave Douglas and Brad Newman to the lead. The 6th.
Yeah, Lachlan Frank went from that inside lane. He went up to that outside lane. He's going to try to help push that outside lane going forward. And you got 5 on the outside and about 8 on the inside. But the inside lane is not well organized. They're kind of bouncing around a lot down on that inside. That's going to give a little bit of more tuning to that outside as the top 3 of Brad Newman, Dave Douglas, and Keith Hackney drop down the inside in front of Ethan Winter.
The Dave Douglas chart position currently 2nd, and obviously in the last 52 laps it's been more of a upward scale for the guy in the number 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With him not going a lap down like earlier, that he's given it back to Keith Hackney. He sat behind Dave Douglas along with Jason Holdsworth that entire run, and now Dave Douglas is returning the favor. He's going to stick behind him, behind the number 6 of Keith Hackney for as long as he can until another challenge arises on that outside. But it doesn't look like a challenge is going to be happening on that outside lane, as you can see there. Keith Hackney rolling that inside lane, matching the curb, or the apron, I should say, with his truck color, and then giving a little bit of air to that number 10 machine of Dave Douglas, and then Brad Newman right behind him trying to find a little bit of clean air on that nose.
Keith Hackney inside. Douglas will follow. Newman right there, 1, 2, and 3 as they stay single file now. Just after halfway, second half of this race on. Lights are on, getting ready for the night time. And there was a little bit of a haze. I wouldn't really even call it a fog, Dylan. That's finally cleared up a little bit. And it is Hackney now leading them. And all these guys, nose to tail in line. 2, 3 separate packs around Daytona, coming to 45 to go here.
Yeah, you can see it there. Everybody is now single file, I believe, in about, what would you say, maybe 5 or 15, maybe 12 laps to go before our first and only pit stop here tonight. So everybody's going to get down into the single file running, so that way they can get into pit lane as cleanly as possible. And I have said this time and time again, you're going to see so many different pit strategies here at Daytona. They're not going to be all in a single file line going into pit lane. I can tell you that much. They're going to stagger each other. They don't want to run over each other. They don't want to get any speeding penalties. They don't want to overrun into the grass. One tire goes off into the grass going into pit lane. That is an automatic 40-second hold into pit lane. So a lot of, I guess, nerves racking up to get this first and one and only pit stop on the green flag completed before next week.
Right there on the inside, double yellow line with Douglas and now Newman in the top three now, trying to square away and pull away from Winter and Micklemore. And Winter and Newman, remember, there's history between the 1 and the 39. To put it plainly, they just don't like each other. Has that fizzled out for the Winter coming to the new season? Or is it just boiled over, ready to explode?
So could we call that rivalry the Kurt Busch and Jimmy Spencer rivalry?
And you could.
Because, I mean, I'm all for it if we get some racing like that, because those two went at it back in the old 90s and early 2000s in this race.
Dale Earnhardt. Remember those days? Remember Rusty Wallace and Earnhardt? Dale Earnhardt and Jeffrey Bodine, Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip. By the way, candlestick lights are on. They're illuminated around Daytona. It's about to become a nighttime affair.
Absolutely. There's nothing prettier than seeing all these trucks around at Daytona during the nighttime, especially the trucks that have like the chrome tint to them, just glossing off these lights here at Daytona. Is top three still checking out, and then you got 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 right behind them. They need to figure it out. They have to split these front three up to have a chance to see what they can do and get into a nice early flying, Wes, and see if they just can't run those top three down.
Back straight away. Closing in on 150 miles completed and 100 miles to go. We're in stage 3. And by the way, as they work to 40 remaining, Dylan McDonald, lap traffic is up in front of the leaders.
Yeah, right, there's definitely going to be a big task for a lot of these drivers. They got to communicate with each other, let them know where the lap traffic's going to be. If I'm that number 99 of Tyler Williams, I'm just going to get up to that outside lane, let them control that bottom lane. That's where they're all going to be. But no, Tyler Williams is going to stay down on that inside. And look at that. Already a 6-car race for the race lead now. It was a 3-car breakaway. Now it's a 6-car breakaway. And here comes Ethan Winter. He's going to stay right up on the back door. Oh, he's going to give him a shot. He said, you know what? I'll help you out. I'm not going to let you get on down there. I don't know if that hurt the number 39 or not, because that was such a big, violent hit. He might have a little bit of front end damage now on that number 39.
Give me all your loving, all your hugs and kisses too, and sometimes bumps. Tap. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. A little tap, tap, taparoo. Here we go. Hackney and Douglas now. Newman working through lap traffic down the back straightaway. 100 miles to go with 40 remaining.
40 laps remaining. Dave Douglas all over that number, helping the fellow Nitro driver. And I can see it now. Maybe Wes, maybe, just maybe, Micklemore tries to fake Brad Newman to that outside and dives back down low to put the Nitro drivers in a line, essentially, but I don't see it happening. Brad Newman is kind of like a little bit of an alliance as of right now to these top 2 drivers of the Nitro guys, so maybe he's going to keep them right there, right where he wants them. They're working very well together. I mean, everybody really is, if you think about it in retrospect, but those top 4, the 1, the 6, the 10, the 31, They have been glued together like an envelope after you lick it to send it to the post office. They don't want to come untied. And now Lewis Greathead getting a little bit of a gap between those top four.
Hang on. Look at that move on the outside. That's Greathead, by the way. Back in sixth. Winner, high side behind Williams. Look at Williams, by the way. Here's a guy that was at one time fighting to win the stage. Now he's trying to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, he's trying everything he possibly can. He had that early incident there when he went around, didn't get the caution that he needed. He's going to be one lap down. If we were to have a caution, I believe he is the first car one lap down, so he will get the lucky dog and then be able to get all that track position back. But he's just kind of riding now. He's got to wait and see what ends up happening. He doesn't want to be involved in the wreck either, so it's kind of a risk versus reward type situation. He's given a little bit of a gap between the drivers in front of him, but he's got Lewis Greathead all over his back bumper.
Down that back straightaway, look at Greathead now behind Williams. Remember, Williams is the first car, I believe, one lap down. 20 cars on the lead lap. If the caution was to come out, he would get the free pass if he's not the car that's involved in the caution. Right now, patiently in line. And you know, Dylan, that's me. If I'm Williams, I would stay in line with this pack right here. You're with the leaders. If something happens, you get your lead back.
Absolutely. Just got to make sure you don't get a bump from anybody as the caution comes out, as that will...
Get your lead lap back up, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It'll negate the lucky dog if he were to get the incident point, as you will, on iRacing service. It's kind of a weird situation. You know, you get the slightest little bump. It says that you were involved in the accident, even though you're still up to speed. You didn't spin, you didn't do anything like that. But I would assume that the drivers over here would be like, no, he's up here with the race leaders. No,
there it is.
Nothing ended up happening.
And this is what Williams needed right here. Caution's out. Problems,
oh, no.
Aaron Dorman in the grass, jumping the drain and more on the turf. This will put Tyler Williams back on the lead lap. I mean, you cannot write this. This was like a storybook ending right here with what just happened here, Dylan.
Absolutely. As we get a nice little replay here to see what happened to Aaron Dorman. Oh.
The 64 thinking, man. Wow, you go left, not right. Greg Frazier.
I wonder if did the 64 have help?
Something break? Oh, wow. No, he just went straight into the wall. Wow. You know, here's two things I'm thinking, Dylan. Okay, maybe three. The guy don't know what the hell he's doing, and he turned into him. First, hopefully not worst case scenario, okay? Number two, he went from the bottom to the top, and I think he thought maybe he could clear. He panicked right here, and he didn't realize he wasn't clear with Dorman. Or number three, something broke on the 64 JMR Racing entry forward, and he hit Dorman.
I'm going to go with three. I'm going to go with option number two. I think he had a lot of momentum. He wanted to try to get back around I believe that was Tyler Williams that came down? He wanted to try to get back around him and just didn't realize that Aaron Dorman was up there. So,
yeah. Let's go on board. Let's go on. Yeah, okay, we got boxing going on. I was going to say let's go on board with the guy Frazier. I mean, that would be the best way of seeing it. Or well, let's see what it was like for what's his face. Mr. Dorman is what I was going to say. Aaron Dorman. He's in 20th right now. Race off pit road. Brad Newman beats Hackney out, and Douglas, Frank and Dow, Kutai Dow. Let's see what it's like on Dorman's view. I mean, this has got to be interesting here. Watch this on the back straightaway, Dylan. So there's Williams. Wow.
Oh, no, that was a 350. That wasn't even Williams. That went down. I don't know who's a 350. Okay, yeah.
This is the one that went from the top to the bottom, made Frazier check up, and then slammed into Dorman.
Okay, I thought the number on that truck in front of Dorman was 350.
No, it's the 99, the Williams. Watch again.
Yeah, no, it's not Williams. That was because Williams is behind it.
No, it's the 99 truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever's in front of him. It's whoever's up in front of him. It's got NASCAR.com on the back of the spoiler.
Well, who is in front of Aaron Dorman?
Here, who is this truck right here? The one that's got NASCAR.com on it.
I thought the number was 350.
Michael Skurlock. It might be Skurlock, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it is Skurlock. By the way, I was referring to, not Williams, but yeah, there's Skurlock. That's who it was. Yep. Anyhow, look at this from this angle. It honestly looks like Frazier just, man, I don't know, dirty air, bad draft, sucked in, nowhere to go, Dylan. From another angle, that makes you think that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, if I'm in that position and I'm the number 64, if I didn't want to give the 350 that big of a bump, I would have feathered the throttle a little bit, maybe give a little bit of brake drag to not have such a big impact, or maybe get him squirrely. Or I don't know. I'm still going with option number 2 there, Wes. He's just trying to get back around him and just misjudged Aaron Dorman being there. So hopefully nothing is severely broken on the number 253, and he can get back out there and have another good crack at the race win here tonight.
Fox says no spotter. Somebody says something broke that old chestnut. There you go. So, no. That's a blimp view. That's not there's your spotter view. Yeah.
Look at the attention to detail in the grass, though. Oh.
Yeah, that's last year's design, by the way. That's not this year's design. This year's design has airplanes coming in, with like when they do their opening ceremonies, when they do their flyover. But that's last year's design of the grass, and obviously they'll update it when they do. Green. All right, Dylan, back to green. Closing in on 75 miles remaining here in the preseason showdown.
There you got Keith Hackney up on that outside, Brad Newman down on the inside, Dave Douglas down on that inside, and then you got Lachlan Frank back up there in P number 4, as he had that incident earlier in the race, and he's back up there in the P number 4 position. And then a guy that we haven't talked about at all, that's going to be Kutai Dow in the number 55. He's going to push his way up there to P number 2. Micklemore is going to follow suit. He's going to get clear. Micklemore is going to have to stay up top, and Keith Hackney is going to try to stay with the number 31. And Kutai Dow tried looking down on the inside, gave Keith Hackney a little bit of a bump, offset, was able to keep the truck straight, but now you got Micklemore leading that outside train on that top shelf. And now you got Nitro drivers 1, 2, Kutai Dow in 3rd, and then you got Lachlan Frank in P number 4 with Brad Newman in P number 5.
Kute now. You know, he's been patiently hanging in the back, right up 20 spots now, 19, 18 positions. He's in the top 5. Kute now. Lachlan Frank, remember, he had problems earlier. 53 in the fifth. He's now right there, back up to the leader. And here's my pick for the championship. Look at this. Josh Mickelmore, Nitro 31, going to the lead here out of turn 4.
Yeah, Josh Mickelmore going to get down in front of Keith Hackney. And I think this is what Hackney wants to see. He wants to have everybody get up in front of him and be in that 3rd, 4th, 5th position. And that is one thing that I do like about plate track racing here, Wes, is it's not always the race leader that's going to get the race win. It can come from somebody back in 10th, 15th, or even 20th. They're going to pull the Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. using lessons learned from his father to go 6th to 1st in the Daytona race in the baseball car. But it can be anybody. Oh, Lachlan, I think Lachlan Frank just blew. I think he just blew his motor.
A miss on the 53, Lachlan Frank. Way off the pace. RPMs are down. Lachlan Frank might have just cooked the engine. And it's might bring out a caution, or he might stall and have to go to the pit. Green, ready to go. We say Green, Newman, the new leader. Mickelmore, Hackney, Douglas. Now right there as well.
Yeah, this is what you like to see right here. Everybody bunched back up. 29 laps to go. Mickelmore on that inside, Newman on the out. Does Newman leave that outside and go down to the inside, or is he going to bring the number 10 along with him, David Douglas? Not going to be able to get clear this time by.
No, not there yet, as you mentioned.
They are the 5 hard to the inside or outside wall.
Well, there's problems. No caution, though, guys. Nope, there it is now.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened to the number 5, but he took a hard turn right to the outside wall. I don't even.
Look at this shot. Wow. Hang on, guys. And that's Lachlan, Andy Barber, actually, is what they're saying. Yeah. The all-time starter. The all-time starter of NASCAR Australia in the fence. Tonight would be career start 177. Oh, looked like he got sidetracked.
His wheel shut off.
Wow.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, explain the wheel shutting off there, Dylan, if you can elaborate more on that.
So, essentially, depending on what wheel you have, I've experienced it myself. Fanatec just randomly will disconnect. It'll still be plugged in, but it'll just like disconnect every once in a while inside of your USB port. And once it disconnects, your wheel locks. There is no steering. There is no nothing. Your screen freezes. Everything is stopped. Once your wheel disconnects, it'll come back on. It'll recalibrate, and then once it recalibrates, you're just kind of just
along for the ride. You're along for the ride, basically.
Yep, you're just along for the ride at that point. And once it does reconnect, then you're like, oh, now you have to do the apologies about, oh, my hardware shut off, or it could be to the point where he's got a Moza and it's an update. Wheels, sim racing wheels are the weirdest thing because they could be like the Windows. Oh, man. Technical difficulties?
His screen shut off. Yeah.
Ugh.
His screen shut off.
I've had that happen before, and 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Just letting everybody out there know. Yeah,
Well, money stop. Here they come. It stopped here. ready to go for the finish. I think this is the money stop of the race right here. I think everybody is going to come down pit road that can go here. This is the take it to the finish of it right here. So
Yeah, I'm starting to think the exact same thing as Micklemore decided to stay out this time. I do believe. Well, he pit 8 laps ago. Same with Newman, Dave Douglas. So a little bit of split strategies here, Wes, coming to this final 25 laps of this race.
yeah,
And we got more drivers taking the chicane, taking the bus stop. If anybody was able to watch.
Dean is sick of Daytona. He's saying we did Daytona last night. We did Daytona last week. We did the 500 for the Victoria Bushfires for Highline last Saturday night. And now we got it's Speed Weeks and
And then you double it back and you go right back to a shorter
yeah,
plate track racing with Echo Park,
yeah.
aka Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And then we have the American NASCAR Series, and we got Daytona next week, or Talladega next week, I think it is. Yeah.
I can only imagine being a racer, be like, okay, can we just check this off the box?
I like Daytona though, Dylan, because I mean it's just the speed, the chaos, the fury. I said this jokingly the other night. Just skip the whole damn race. Go to 5 laps to go and just watch all hell break loose. Because you're going to see a wild finish. You're going to see a crazy finish.
What was really fun though, Wes, during the off season, iRacing does the 13-week stuff and everything, and they had a thing on here. It was strictly, I believe, Atlanta, Talladega, and Daytona. It's called 5 laps to go. You had 5 laps. You didn't qualify.
Okay.
And it was just a 5-lap dash. It was very fun. I got wrecked out in every single one that I did. But, like, most of the time, everybody would be calm and patient. But the minute that white flag came out, oh, it's off and popping. There are no cautions. So if you're wrecked on lap 1, you're just kind of kaput right then and there. But
when they take the green flag and it was the 5 laps to go deal, did all hell break loose? I mean, was it crazy? Was it?
Oh,
everybody,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've ran 6 of them, and I've wrecked out of 6 of them on the final lap. I kept it good until the final lap.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it wasn't just with the truck. It was with the 87s. It was with the Gen 4s. It was with COTs. Every car that you could think of putting at Daytona, it was at Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, whatever the case may be. Cars that, would obviously run the super speedway races. I wish it was. That would have been fun.
I like iRacing Super Speedway. I actually enjoyed that track.
It reminds me of the 20-mile track on Gran Turismo.
Here they come, back to the line, ladies and gentlemen. Under 25 remaining. About 60 miles left in this race here as we go back to green.
And you got Micklemore and Dave Douglas lined up. Brad Newman trying to side draft the number 10 machine of Dave Douglas. He's going to go ahead and get down there. They're now 3 wide. Keith Hackney up top shelf, making Miss Piggy kind of give a little bit of a kiss to the wall as Mr. Kermit the Frog is nowhere to be found. So Miss Piggy out here all on her lonesome is making his way all the way up back through the field here tonight.
All Mother Hubbard, only Piggy's up on the cover. On the top side. Hang on, keep it off the wall there. Oh, wow, that's Hackney, by the way. Tunnel vision and the Georgia guy from Calhoun. Look at this now. Oh boy, Douglas and Newman. This going on behind Kute Dow and the leader, Micklemore. From Adelaide, South Australia, the man that I think could win the championship in the trucks. He's leading right now, Dylan, in Daytona. By the way, they're saying that the screen froze on Fraser's truck. That's what happened, causing the crash. There you go. Or Barber, my apologies, Andy Barber. There you go. His screen froze is what they're saying for Andy Barber. That's coming from Ryan. Down to the line. Micklemore leads. 22 to go there, Dylan.
And look who's back up there. Just a good old boy from Georgia. He's making his way up on that outside, trying to get up there. He's currently sitting PP number 5, looking to the outside of Kute Dow. He's going to go ahead and take that position on over by him. And if anybody's behind that number 6 machine, they have all the glory. He's going to try to get in front of the number 1 machine, but here he comes. Brad Newman going to go back up to the outside. He wants to get up there towards the front, but here comes Kute Dow. He's going to get around Brad Newman. All that momentum on that outside that there was there is now gone, as just that little bit of a block kind of ruined the run from Keith Hackney.
You Australians are fans of Smokey and the Bandit, but for that good old American life. For the glory, for the money, and for the fun. Mostly for the money. At the end of the year. Great line, great movie. Dylan, I know you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Washed over. No.
Ozzy makes it ladies know about Smokey and the Bandit, right? Micklemore and Douglas battle. 42 and proud, man.
I did say my age.
No, we got his age right, but he just misplaced it. We didn't say it.
Yeah. I turned 30 next month.
There you go. 29. Remember that night? Remember we were all trying to guess his age on the last race of the year, and somebody actually said 29, but we bypassed it or missed it. And somebody did say 29. He'll be 30. He's still a puppy. 30-30. Yeah, 30-30.
I turn 30 on the 30th of March.
Bowling alley, might I add. 50 miles to go. 20 remaining in Daytona.
And
Dylan's sign off. Y'all take care. Brush your hair has new meaning now.
Well, I can tell you what, I kind of wish I was in Daytona, because I would totally get a wig just to feel the wind go through my hair, since, Dylan is bald over here. Yeah. But,
Just let the marbles of the tire rubber hit you in the head. There you go. That'd be an experience,
Be stuck to me, looking like I got a mole on the top of my head, but...
They fly by, yeah.
Well, there's a sight to see. Looks like Keith Hackney
does. Yeah.
Keith Hackney got around Brad Newman there for the position, as we're getting ready to come up to 18 laps to go. He's going to make a push to the front. Brad Newman now 3 wide. Oh my goodness.
Man, Faulkner sideways. Barber turned around. Newman is wrecked. And they're still scattering below the start-finish line, crashing.
All
Big
I know before that,
and others.
Before that happened, Wes, Newman got pushed up the track by, I believe, the 28.
Faulkner. Keep an eye on the 28. There he is. Now
he's definitely there.
650 you're talking about, or Skurlock. Yeah, there's Michael Skurlock. Oh, and then Newman he clipped the right rear. Newman gets by, thought he was clear, and then Barber turns in front of him. So does Williams, and it packs Timo Blundell and others, Raymond, into the grass. Look at the 651. He's in his own little world. And Marty Mitchell hit from the left rear. Watch this again, Dylan. Big wreck in the tri-oval.
Yeah, we've seen this time and time again. Drivers get a little bit too impatient with each other, and Brad Newman giving it back to the number 28. 28 almost had a little bit of a blowover. He's going to go down to the inside. Kerpow.
Splat. Cow, pachow. What other analogy can you use for destruction? We need little cartoons with the little graphics like they had on Batman back in the day, remember?
Yes, kapow, kachow. Bam.
Williams turned Barber after trying to save it with Newman, and well, there he goes. And then everyone else scatters in from there. Oh, baby, look at all these trucks from the bottom of the grass, up from the top to the bottom of the apron on the track. Big wreck, the big one has just happened.
I do know it is a $200,000 fine if you go through the grass at Daytona. Just letting you know.
If you go through the grass and you damage the lettering, yes, yeah.
I found that out after watching a Cletus McFarland YouTube video. And then I was like, oh.
He's going to try to run the truck. He'll probably crash on the first 5 laps.
Oh. Brad Wright, nowhere to go.
I don't want to say this in a bad way. I mean, I really don't. Wheel holders out there, men and women. We got that are just doing it for social glory. And that's what I honestly feel about Cletus McFarland. I don't think he's a driver. I think it's a waste of a steering wheel, just like I think of Natalie Decker or some other people that are driving that they don't need to be in the cars or trucks. You're taking spots away from creditable guys, Dylan, that I think can drive. And it's all a show to them. I mean, that's fine what he does. If he wants to be a social media guru, Logan Paul wannabe, so be it, fine. But in my opinion, you're not a race car driver. You're not a race car driver. You're doing it for social attention. If it makes anybody mad, I'm sorry, but as somebody that's got 30 years in the broadcast game, I feel like I have a right to speak my opinion on the subject. And that's just what I feel about it. Great guy. Got nothing wrong. I got nothing against Dylan. Cletus. Got nothing against Cletus, Dylan.
Whoa.
Yeah, got nothing against Cletus, Dylan, but I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's just how I feel about it. I mean, bottom line, it's like my daddy used to tell me about truck drivers because he used to be an instructor for driving trucks. And my dad's one of the best truck drivers in the game, right? There's a difference between a truck driver and a steering wheel holder. The same thing about a race car driver. And I've noticed it in my years of announcing as well. I can tell you, I can look at a driver. Okay, Dylan, I don't know if you've been following the Ram Race for the Seat. But I can tell you this. I knew 13 of those 15 guys. Carson Ferguson, Minnie Tyrell, Jared Fryer, all those guys deserve that absolute opportunity. The Kelly twins, Casey and Cody Kelly from South Carolina, called many of their races. That is the type of opportunity that these guys deserve. These are the guys that deserve an opportunity to get in a car and race. And you're right, though, Dean, you're right. And that's what sucks about our sport now. You can have millions of dollars and social media fame, and you can get a ride before somebody that really creditable deserves a chance for it. Bottom line.
And that was exactly what I was getting ready to get into there, Wes, was seeing Ram bring back the truck is absolutely beautiful. And I am so ready to see what Minnie Tyrell does in the Truck Series. I mean, the race for the seat was absolutely amazing. But getting ready to go back green here, we got Josh Micklemore leading the inside line with Dave Douglas on that outside, and Keith Hackney, Miss Piggy, In P number 3, he's going to move up to P number 2. Now you got 3 nitro trucks lined up nose to tail. This is what they want to see in their mirrors. And then you got, you got Skurlock, Kute Dow, Davidson, Gray, Rob, Newman, and Williams are all going to be your top 10. Is everybody going to get down a single file down the Daytona super stretch, going into turns number 3 and 4, getting themselves back up to speed?
Keep an eye on them down that back straightaway. Mickelmore in front. Hackney right there inside. And there goes Douglas. Skurlock right there, top 5, single file. Here we go, door to door. Watch Brad Newman. He's that teal green and blue truck on the outside. There he goes. Lobbs, Esports, coming through. And they're going to try to close in on him and shut the door on the outside lane with also Williams watching and winner as they go into 1.
Yeah, here we go. Newman going to try to do what he can. Almost got put around by Tyler Williams. Tyler Williams backed out of it. That Highline not where they want to be as of right now. Ethan Winter did a little bit of mowing the lawn earlier. As them two are going to be nose to tail now, and you can see it there. All lined up down on that inside, about 8 cars deep until we get to, it looks like Kute Dow on that outside, maybe? No, it's not Kute Dow. Kute Dow's up there towards the front. But you got 3 cars on that outside lane, then everybody else down on that inside lane, Wes.
Gary Wellman, I agree with you. Catherine Legg in Cup, much less IndyCar, was a joke. And then, of course, Catherine Legg reminds me of like Natalie Decker. So, all right, here we go. My point is this. I'm not making fun of the drivers. I ain't got nothing against Cletus McFarland, but he's not a race car driver. That's all I'm trying to say. He got in by social media presence. When there's diehard people throughout the country, Newman and Rankin looking out. Scott Rankin, Brad Newman. Door banging hard in the top 10. Clear a path. And he got through. 12 to go.
If there's anybody driving,
Dylan, I've got nothing against Cletus McFarland. Do not twist my words around and make it like I'm hating on the guy or Natalie Baker or any of them. All I'm saying is there's waste of driver spots because of them. That's all I'm saying. I would rather see Isabella Robusto get a chance in a car than Natalie Decker, because Isabella Robusto can drive a car. Jade Avedizian can drive a car. She's not selling herself on OnlyFans and just got to put herself on social media to sell rides and get sponsored. That's all I'm saying. And the same thing about Cletus McFarland is we got trouble. Newman misses. Raymond turns around. He crashes in the straightaway. Matt Raymond going around. Caution out, lap 90. And a 10-lap shootout coming up. No, Dylan, please tell them I'm not picking on Cletus. I'm just saying the truth is the truth. And the guy, whoever said, yeah, that's racing, you're exactly right. That is racing. It's shameful that that's the way racing is today. Look at this, the 93 into Raymond. Raymond goes around. Maybe the 93's in the fence. We see Rankin spawn on the bottom of the apron. But no harm, no foul. Nobody else collected, Dylan. We race on.
Absolutely. I think maybe Ethan Winter got a bad bump by the number 99, maybe? Because we're going to see Ethan Winter going up.
Man, he's been around a lot of controversial cautions tonight, hasn't he?
He really has.
I'm not trying to call the guy out. I'm just saying, Actually, Williams, I think this time is innocent. He's just
he just happened to be at the time of the wreck. He's going to go ahead and get on around that nice and easily. He's kind of like, not to be mean, Trent, if you're watching, not to be mean. It kind of reminds me of last season. Trent Lavelle having a really good race, and then Trent Lavelle ends up getting caught up in a wreck. So, wrong place, wrong time is, Kerr, pow.
He's at
Go
Bathurst, by
Grease
the way, in the
Lightning.
infield, I think, is what we were told. CT Electrical, by the way, a new sponsor for the series. Want to welcome them on board. Trent Lavelle.
Yeah, Trent Lavelle is out there at the Bathurst 12-hour campsites.
Now, is there a race going on at Bathurst this weekend, Dean? Or are we missing something? Are they racing at Bathurst?
Scott Rankin, glad to see him back out here on the racetrack. Former broadcaster for a league that I ran in last season.
I got to work with Scotty Rankin in the booth as a driver analyst. He popped in for the last, I think, 60 laps of the race that I did with the 500 on Saturday night. And, man, Scotty Rankin knows his truck. He knows the iRacing thing. And really enjoyed working with him. Nigel Siddell and Diego Dane Staden. We called the race together. Dean Hopton, he had a ball. We had a fun time. It was a long night. Uh-oh, drivers with black flags. What does this mean? What does this mean, Dylan?
Oh, no. What is going on? Lots of controversy with the black flags going on out here. There's a league that I used to run in called Ghost Cup Series. Scott Rankin was one of the broadcasters over there. He would be racing the car and broadcasting at the exact same time. It was the weirdest, wildest thing.
Nigel Siddell did that on Tuesday. Nigel did. I mean, yeah. Aaron Dorman did it, actually. Aaron Dorman did it on Saturday in the 500 race we did. He was...
not to dock anybody, but Dylan McDonald could never do that because my race chatter is a whole lot different than broadcast chatter. There ain't no way. Nope. Count me out. If you ever need radioactive, cue me up. I got you, but...
Are you saying there would be a lot of beeping? Dean, where's the beeper at? Yeah, where's
what
that?
You bunch of... Where's the chickens? Wesley?
Where's the damn chicken salt? Yeah, I want the chicken salt. Dave Douglas is supposedly mailing me some if he could get through the crazy tariff expenses thanks to our president, right? In America. Tough time in our country. He's supposed to be mailing me some. Dylan, I was saying this jokingly. I'll probably have to go to the post office and claim it from customs because I had to do that just to get cologne.
Oh.
So, Dave Builds chiming in. Thank you, Dave. Dave Builds chiming in, and he says, Wesley, Cletus bringing in more new fans than NASCAR has had in the last 10 years. Okay, well, all right, we'll have to agree to disagree on that. Give him time, and he will improve.
Cletus McFarland is a drag.
I mean, we'll have to agree to disagree. I'm sorry. There's some comments in there that I agree with and some I don't. So, and again, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not knocking him in any means. All I'm simply saying is that a Bubba Pollard or Stephen Nasse or somebody that I know creditable as a driver, Dylan, should get that seat, and they don't because it's social form and it's money based and it's not having the dollars to do it. And listen, what happened when Cletus ran Daytona last year? Do you remember? Within the first 100 miles of the ARCA wreck, he wrecked twice.
And then Charlotte wrecked, Bristol wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm trying to say. I don't want nobody to think I'm hating on the guy or Natalie Decker or anybody. It's just a matter of, like my daddy told me, there's a difference between a race car driver and a steering wheel holder. Listen, that's like me. It's like me. I'm telling you, you'll never see me, Dylan, drive on iRacing because I'm a broadcaster. I knew at 13 years old that this is what I wanted to do for a living. I'm not a race car driver. I don't want to do it in real life, and I don't want to do it on a sim. I could not tell you how to put the car in gear to pull onto the racetrack. I couldn't. You probably could. You probably race, like you said. You got a PG-13 version of you, unfiltered. Radioactive, Dylan. I don't have that, right? I just call the races. We're going to go back to green, and this is 7 to go here in the final stage. Ready to hit the finish line at Daytona, Dylan. Let's go back to work.
Yeah, you got 3 nitro trucks in the top 5 here. What does Dave Douglas do? He gives a little bit of a gap between himself and Josh Micklemore to try to help the 6 of Keith Hackney drop in line, but it's not going to go his way that he wants it to be. Is that they're going to be side by side, Keith Hackney all by himself, and this is not what Josh Micklemore needs or wants to see. He needs to have somebody right up on his back bumper, but it's going to be Keith Hackney trying to use the solo dolo to himself. He's going to be able to get down in front of Dave Douglas now. All 3 nitro trucks lined up nose to tail, 1 through 3. Kute Dallin, P number 4. 5th is going to be the number 350 of Skurlock, making his way up there towards the top 5. And it is all Josh Micklemore out the front windshield, 6 laps away from pay dirt here at Daytona.
Working now back to the line, 6 to go. As Micklemore in front. Remember, referring to a driver that I think could be a champion this year, Josh Micklemore. What a solid run for him. Back straightaway, look at Hackney. Dylan, here's one of these guys that he ran Xfinity on Tuesday. He's in the trucks tonight. Good old Georgia boy from Calhoun. He's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning like we are to broadcast these races. He's at the line, 5 miles and 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to watch out for. You know, you got Josh Micklemore being your pick this season. I'm going to have to go Keith Hackney. I think Keith Hackney's got the nutrition to go out here and show, like, hey, I may be a new guy here in this series, but I am here to win races and get myself into that position to win my very first championship. And I think we're going to see a really good battle between the 6 and the number 1 all season long, as long as with the number 31 as well of Josh Micklemore. Josh Micklemore has been in that championship predicament many times. He just wasn't able to close it out last season. He's looking for redemption come this season. And if this is anything that we have to look forward to for the opening night, oh, we are in for a treat for the entire season.
To the line when they come to the stripe. There it is. 4 laps to go. That's 10 miles remaining. Everybody single file. Micklemore inside, outside. Hackney follows. Douglas, Kutaydale right there in the top 5 with Michael Skurlock. What a solid run for him. He's missed a lot of the trouble. He's now in the catbird seat, but they're right now nose to tail as they work turn 3 there, Dylan.
Yeah, you can see it there. They're leaving a little bit of gap on that inside lane, but not enough to have another truck get underneath of them going into turns number 3 and 4 off of the banking onto the tri-oval for another lap. 3 to go here at Daytona. Now, if Micklemore leaves enough room down that inside lane, let Keith Hackney get a little bit of clean air, and that's exactly what he's going to do. You see it there. Micklemore put his truck, half a truck up to let some clean air onto that number 6 machine of Keith Hackney. He's going to eye up a run, but it's all going to come down to that final lap. Is Keith Hackney going to do what he did in stage number 2 and get a run, push it to the outside and get around Josh Micklemore, or is he content finishing P number 2? I mean, the win can come from Kutaydale. It can come from the 350. It can come from Davidson. It can come from anywhere. You have to keep 10 toes down and be on that mirror once you cross that line to take that white flag.
Two laps to go, 5 miles remaining. Micklemore in the lead. That's all Nitro, by the way. They're all teammate. When do you pull out a line? What a race for Nitro. It started with Jason Holdsworth from the pole. Holdsworth with problems, fell back. Other Nitro trucks back and forth, back and forth. And as we move in Turn number 3, 31 degrees of banking. Micklemore holding his line. Hackney will follow. The stalemate continues. Teammate Nitro up on the podium. Will it end that way? Who's going to get greedy? Here they come, Dylan McDonald. White flag in the air. One more lap to go. Preseason showdown. And they break out of line going to 1.
Yeah, Kute Dow got a really good run, but nobody's going to follow suit on that outside lane. And here we go. Dave Douglas going to try to pull a little bit of a block there, but Keith Hackney's got no help. It might be Josh Micklemore all the way to the start-finish line. Oh, they're wrecking. Dave Douglas gets turned around. Kute Dow gets turned around. They're the only two involved in the wreck, but it's going to be a 2-car drag race to the line for the final time through turns number 3 and 4. Does Keith Hackney have anything to say and get the race win off of the number 31? Off of the 31 degrees of banking is going to be the number 31 and 6, a drag race to the start-finish line, but no, it's going to be Josh Micklemore getting the race win here tonight in the preseason Thunder. Hackney in P number 2, and then you got Davidson rounding out your top 3 with Raymond and Skurlock in your top 5.
This be a sign of things to come. Josh Micklemore. Team Nitro is team racing the way to go this year as well. When it's all said and done, Josh Micklemore getting the win. It's a non-points win, by the way. Josh Micklemore. All this going on as these drivers will now go to the cool-down lap. And I say this as we refer to Josh Micklemore, obviously watching these guys come down to the pit lane here for post-race. What a run for Micklemore. Micklemore now 84 career starts. He only has 1 career win. Now, let me emphasize, this will be his second Australian NASCAR E-Series win, but it doesn't count because it's a non-points win. It's like Ryan Preece winning the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray last Wednesday. It's a non-points win. It's a victory. You'll celebrate it. Everybody wants a win. Yes, Dylan, but it's a non-points win. But as I said when you asked me earlier, here's my guy. Here's my pick. Here's the dude that I think is going to be a contender, obviously, to win the championship. And he does it right here in fashion, winning the Daytona preseason showdown. Now the big boys and their virtual bad toys, saddle them up for Xfinity on Tuesday, trucks next Thursday, and the point season begins.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and look at the overall finishing order before we cut to a quick commercial break. It's going to be Josh Micklemore with the race win. Second is going to be Keith Hackney. Third is going to be Troy Davidson. Fourth, Matt Raymond. Fifth is going to be Michael Skurlock. Sixth will be Shane Bowen. Seventh is going to be Adam Gray. Eighth, Darren Robb. Ninth, Marty Mitchell. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Scott Rankin.
Dylan, we're not doing interviews. Obviously, congratulations to Josh Micklemore, Keith Hackney, and Troy Davidson on the podium, but we did not do any post-interviews for preseason for Australian NASCAR E-Series. We didn't do it on Tuesday with Xfinity either, so congratulations to those drivers, especially Josh Micklemore on the podium. Ryan Barber will finish 11th. Dave Douglas, Double D, is 12th. Brad Newman, 13th. Kute Dow crashed on the back straightaway on the last lap. 14th, Tyler Williams. 15th, Ethan Winter. Brad Wright, Timo Blundell, and Riley Curtis, Lewis Greathead. They'll finish in the top 20.
21st is going to be Ben Fulker. 22nd is going to be Zach Blundell. 23rd is going to be Andy Barber. 24th, Lachlan Frank. 25th, Aaron Dorman. 26th is going to be Craig Frazier. 27th, Nigel Seidel. 28th will be David Lawler. 29th is going to be Jason Holdsworth. And running out your 30-car field is going to be Brian Blundell.
There it is, 17 lead changes amongst 10 drivers at the end of Daytona. 8 cautions for 25 laps. Finishing on the regular scheduled distance, Darren Robb was the hard charger of the race, up 20 spots. Keith Hackney, the Georgia boy for Nitro, led the most laps of anybody of the 100 laps. He led 35. fastest lap of the race goes to Josh Mickelmore, the winner, and the pole man for Nitro as well was Jason Holdsworth. If there's two things that I can take from tonight's race in closing, Dylan, before we get off the air, remember, we're not doing interviews tonight. No interviews tonight like we did for Xfinity on Tuesday. This is exhibition. But if there's two things I can take from this, is if they get nose to tail, who pulls out of line? If you pull out of line, you either are going to be zero or hero, and for the most part, we've noticed you turn into a zero. Look at what happened to Kute Dow when he pulled out of line. He got crashed on the back straightaway. Secondly, I'm watching Dylan this week as well, leading into the points races next week. Teammates, same teams, working together. How important is this going to be for not just Daytona, Talladega, Echo Park, but the season in general? Could we see a resurgence of Aussie NASCAR team racing to determine who's going to win these races when it's all said and done?
You know, I couldn't agree more with you on that. Teammates are definitely going to be where it's at. You've seen it there. Everybody for the hard charger, the fastest lap, the pole sitter, and the guy who won the most laps led, all Nitro drivers. So these guys have came in to put on an absolute masterclass of a show. Teammates are definitely going to be where everything lies. You see it right there as it went. Keith Hackney, I think if they didn't have that wreck coming to the white flag on the backstretch, I think maybe you might have seen Dave Douglas or maybe possibly Keith Hackney pull out a line to try to make it a drag race or maybe control both sides of the lanes. But I think as it sat right then and there, they were content on where they were finishing. They knew it wasn't for points. They knew it wasn't for anything. It was just pretty much bragging rights to say that they got the first win of the unofficial season begins. And definitely can't wait to see what Daytona brings us next week on Tuesday and Thursday night. And then Echo Park following right after.
So look at the schedule, obviously, in closing. Remember, all broadcasts live on Highline, Highside on Facebook. Highline broadcasting, though. And if you're out there and you're watching the replay or live and you have a streaming esports league and you want to get involved, whether in the States or Australia, reach out to Nigel or Jason, and they would love to put your content on Highline. That's their plan, not just to cover the Australian NASCAR E-Series trucks and Xfinity, but also more coverage. And I think according to Nigel, he said it was going to be for free. Everybody loves the word free. So, Jason, as a matter of fact, he's in the box. Jason, you're taking preseason, man. You led some laps. It got wild out there. But I asked this question. I said in closing, is teammate racing going to be important here for the season? Not just the super speedways, but for the year, like the way Nitro worked together.
Of course, always is in oval racing. Teammates need to cut your brakes sometimes. Sometimes teammates help you. It's especially at Daytona. It's more of a team-based track than it is an individual. An individual can win, but usually they're going to need help from someone.
I mean, prime example, Nitro, 1, 2, 3, 4. Earlier in the race, Dylan, if you remembered, Jason Holdsworth was leading, won stage 1. He could have put his teammate Dave Douglas a lap down. He did not do that. He let Dave stay up in front of him and in the stage to put Dave obviously still on the lead lap. That's a teammate right there. That's a comrade than somebody wanting to be one for all and all for myself. So like I said in closing, Dylan, as you take us off the air, I think we're going to see a lot of teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, right, in closing. But the question is, then when does teammates become frenemies? Because at the end of the day, you're wanting to win at the end of the night. What will take place next Tuesday, next Thursday? Daytona never disappoints, Dylan. It should be an exciting one, sir. I can't wait for next week.
Absolutely. Tuesday and Thursday definitely going to be one hell of a show across both series, but that's going to give us a little bit of a break. We don't get to see Daytona for another whole week. Well, for me at least. I don't have to worry about seeing Daytona until next Thursday, but Wes, you got to see it on Tuesday and then all the other leagues that you end up gotten. But that's going to do it for myself. Dylan McDonald and Wes in the broadcast booth with Dean Biggles Hopton running the cameras, giving you the beautiful angles all in and through the night. I wanted to say thanks to everybody out there watching, paying attention, and hanging out with us on this early 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. session here. But without further ado, make sure you guys take care, brush your hair.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.